Hey everyone, so we did have some seizure activity this weekend, and I realized one of the things that I have in place that I wanted to share with you is what I call a seizure ready kit. So it's just those things that I have found over the years. It's really beneficial to have just on the ready. So I have this put together so when a seizure does occur, I have it available to me in an area that it's easy for me to grab it, and I don't have to kind of go around the house and find those different things that I need when I just really need to be paying attention and helping Ruby through it. So if you haven't been here before, my name is Mandy. I have a dog, Ruby, who just turned 9 years old, and we have been on her seizure journey for 7 years now. I've learned many things that I want to share with you, so hopefully you can figure things out way faster than I did. So there are a number of things that I keep in my seizure kit, so it's just ready to go. This is what it looks like, and so I have it in kind of a nice basket. This can hang out. I just slip it under a side table, and so I don't think anyone else really realizes it's even there. It just kind of blends in. But for me, it's in an area that I can just grab it really easily. There's kind of just those main areas, I'm sure your dog is similar, where there's those main areas where they kind of tend to nap or hang out the most. And so I just have a 1-floor home. If you had multiple floors, you may want to create a seizure kit that would be on each floor, so you don't have to run up and down to grab whatever you need. So the first thing that I keep in mind that I think is really beneficial is I keep a number of different towels in different sizes. So some big towels and just some smaller towels. Towels for me come into play in a number of different ways. The obvious is there can be messes that happen during seizures. So with Ruby's, there is a lot of drooling that she will do. And so it really helps, like I can clean up immediately. Like as soon as that seizure is over, I start kind of just cleaning up the area as she is kind of coming out of that seizure. It takes her a little while, so it gives me a little bit of time to just kind of clean up. Towels can also be really beneficial if you have hardwood floors, or if your dog is next to anything like the side of the wall, and if they are having a grand mal like Ruby does, where they're going to possibly be banging their head either into the floor or into the wall, you can easily grab a towel and just kind of put it in between where their head is hitting and the wall, to protect their head. So I've used it to just lay it down quick and slip it, fold it over, slip it under her head if I don't have a rug nearby that I can pull under her head, and then also definitely to clean up a lot of saliva. There's a lot of it. So that is really beneficial to have towels just at the ready at all times. If there are any sort of messes that just a towel isn't enough, I do just keep some baby wipes in it. I do the scent-free ones, just if I need something that I can just, again, so I don't have to go to the kitchen or go to the bathroom and get a washcloth, and when I'm really just trying to keep my eyes on her and make sure that she's okay and safe, at least this is the immediate thing that I can use. I can always come back later and clean it better, but it's just a nice thing to have and has been really handy just to have available to me. One of the newer things that I've added into my seizure kit is toilet paper. So for many years, Ruby never urinated or defecated during a seizure. And then probably within the last year, not always, but there are times that she has pooped while having a seizure. It's completely out of her control. She can't help it. And so for me, again, I don't want to leave it because I don't want her to move or walk through it and then get it throughout the house. This allows me to quickly pick it up, take it to the bathroom, and flush it down the toilet. I don't want to use anything else like wipes or anything like that. This just makes it easy, so I can just flush it right away. So that might be something to consider too if your dog does have some accidents while they're having a seizure. The final thing that I keep in mind is I have a binder of Ruby's information, but I keep her seizure journal just right there on the ready in the front. And so this allows me to, once everything's kind of happened, I can easily just record that seizure down, so I'm keeping track of frequency, how often it's happening, what did that seizure look like, how long did it last, anything that kind of possibly could have been a trigger, what happened before. So that has been handy just to have that available and ready to go, so I don't again have to like go to my office and try to find the binder. It's just right here ready. So that's what I have in mind that has come in handy. But as I was thinking about it, there could be other things that could be beneficial. So I always have my phone next to me. So as soon as the seizure starts, I look at my phone and I remember what time it is, because that's one of the things that I record on her seizure journal, is what time is the seizure starting, and then I just start counting. So I'm counting in my head how long that seizure is lasting, and then I quickly write it down so I don't forget. But if you don't have your phone next to you at all times, I know not everybody uses them that way, or if you are a little worried that just counting, you're gonna forget and just kind of everything that's happening, especially if you're newer to this. I now have been through it so many times that I stay very calm when a seizure is happening. So for me, that works. In the beginning, it probably wouldn't have, because it was very emotionally upsetting for me to help her through that process. I don't know if I would have remembered, like, okay, wait, how many seconds was that? Or I might have gotten distracted by something. So another thing you could have is a stopwatch, to just easily, know how long that seizure occurred for. Even if you can't get to the stopwatch right away, you could probably start it as soon as you can and then know, like, okay, I think it's been going on for 5 seconds. So you could add that on to whatever the overall time was. If you don't have a seizure journal for your dog, I would recommend that. But another thing that could be helpful is just a plain notebook where you're recording when the seizures are occurring. So when I look at mine, the information I record is the date, the time it starts, the length of the seizure, if I give any emergency meds for the seizure, and then any sort of notes. So again, what was happening before, did I notice anything, that type of thing. Anything that I think could be helpful. So even just a plain notebook where you're gonna be, you don't have to have any sort of like fancy journal or anything. You could just have a notebook where you're writing down when it's occurring, with just basic information. Is really, really helpful for the vet. So I would say at a basic level, the date that it's happening, the length of the seizure, so how long did it go on for, are really going to be beneficial for your vet to help kind of see that pattern. And that's exactly, I'll create a whole nother video about the seizure journal, but that has been really beneficial for me to see patterns and identify some patterns with Ruby. So we'll talk a little bit more about that on another video. Another thing that I thought could be helpful is if your dog really moves, or, I know that there are dogs that will move around quite a bit. So your dog might roam, or kind of like move from one spot to another spot, and if they're messy with saliva and slobber, or maybe they have defecated on themselves or urinated on themselves, and you're trying to clean things up as it's happening, but maybe you can't get to all of it, and they are messy. Another thing that you could have in your seizure kit is like an old, just big sheet, flat sheet, where you could, you know, if you have carpeting or a rug that you want to protect, you could put the sheet down over that, so at least if there's any mess on the dog themselves, if they do roam into that area, then at least that carpeting or that rug is going to be protected. It's easy to grab that sheet, throw it in the wash, rather than try to clean a rug or carpet. So those are just some of my ideas. You guys might have some other good tips or things that you would think are helpful, or you have found that is helpful. If so, please leave them in the comments below so other people can learn from you as well. So thank you for learning with me today as I continue to learn with Ruby. Bye.